Guys, the last time I recorded a video on this channel was over a year ago, and funny enough, it was a preview video for Elimination Chamber 2023, but life has its way of bringing me back to the place I love. Welcome back to still DMK Wrestling, now under my sort of real name, but I'm going through a bit of a rebrand. You'll see it in the coming weeks with more content as well, new exciting content I have planned. But let's talk about Elimination Chamber 2024. Now guys, let me tell you something. It's very refreshing and it's very nice to watch a wrestling event that is not at 1 a.m. or 12 a.m. as I'm accustomed to doing most times. So it was so fun. Elimination Chamber 2024 taking place in the beautiful Perth, Australia. Some beautiful sunsets we saw in the course of the broadcast. And I love what WWE is doing with production these days. It's such a joy to watch. We had a match on the kickoff show for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships between the Kabuki Warriors defending against the team of Candice LeRae and Australia's own Indy Hartwell, and this was a nice reception that Indy Hartwell got. I watched bits and pieces of the match. I didn't catch it right when it started, but it seemed to be great. Of course, Candice LeRae eating the pin at the end. It was an okay match, I think. It could have happened on a normal Raw or SmackDown, and quite honestly. And it was also very nice to have some Australian representation on this show in the form of not just Rhea Ripley, but Indy Hartwell. The other was going to be Bronson Reed, but aside his wife having their baby early, and congratulations to the two of them, Bronson Reed was actually scheduled to challenge Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship at this event. And then Seth got hurt, unfortunately. But all things being considered, this was a great opener before the opener. And then to kick off the main show, we had the Women's Elimination Chamber match with the winner getting to challenge either Rhea Ripley or Nia Jax for the Women's World Championship at WrestleMania 40. And this was between Bianca Belair, Tiffany Stratton, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Naomi, and Becky Lynch. And this was one of the more predictable matches, but the finish was pretty interesting and also pretty quick. Becky Lynch started the match with Naomi, and they seemed to have the mutual respect between the two of them. The credibility of Naomi, I think, was something that they took into consideration as they were building up in the course of the match before Tiffany Stratton entered and laid out both Naomi and Becky Lynch. Liv Morgan entered the chamber next, and she is on a completely different level these days. Things being added to her moveset, a new intensity, some heel-like tendencies as well. She almost played a heel because for the most part, Tiffany Stratton in this match was regarded as a babyface by the Australian crowd, which was pretty refreshing, and she played up to them so well. But there was one spot where I think Naomi hit a sunset flip powerbomb on Liv Morgan, and this caused Tiffany Stratton to pin Naomi with a roll-up and got her out of the match. And then this was when Raquel Rodriguez would get into the match and would start to lay waste to every single person. Eventually, we would see Bianca Belair being the last entrant into the match. Of course, she was going to be the EST, do her normal thing. And then there was the spot which was spot of the night, and this cemented Tiffany Stratton's status as the MVP of this Elimination Chamber match. So we have a spot where Liv Morgan does a move to Raquel Rodriguez as she's laid on the turnbuckle and the top ropes. And then she rolls out to the outside, and you have Bianca Belair also on the outer mat of the Elimination Chamber. You have Becky Lynch and Tiffany Stratton fighting on the top. Becky Lynch falls, and then Tiffany Stratton does her signature swanton onto Raquel, Bianca, and Becky, and it made for a really cool visual. After that, Tiffany would go after Liv. She would attempt to hit her moonsault, but Liv would counter and would then hit a top rope oblivion to eliminate Tiffany Stratton. And for everything that everybody is saying, Tiffany Stratton is definitely the future of this business. At 24 years old, and this is your first ever WWE Premium Live event match. With everything she's doing, she has the tools and she is going to go very, very far. And I'm very excited to see where she goes as a fan. Next, we had a match which I think was a strong contender for match of the night. You had the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships being defended by the Judgment Day against the relatively new team, the New Catch Republic Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne. This match was amazing. In terms of predictability, yes, we all knew that Judgment Day would win. Did we expect R-Truth to interfere at some point? There was some speculation that that would happen. And then R-Truth posted a video on X saying he was all the way in Austria instead of Australia. So that was a pretty good way to let everybody know, hey, he's not going to be there. But that was also very much in character. R-Truth is one of the most entertaining parts of WWE TV today. I can't say too much about this match except for a few things. So the first part is Finn Balor apparently injured his thumb at one point. I would guess that would be Pete Dunne's fault. Not fault then again, because it's very much in his character. His thumb looked dislocated and bloodied at parts, but it's Finn will be fine. That's Finn 14 Staples, damn it. Like, he'll be okay. And then Tyler Bate, easily the show stealer in this match. He did this helicopter-like spin to Damian Priest at one point, and that was really, really impressive and really entertaining to watch. And then he and Pete Dunne have this move called the Birminghammer, which is more like a double KOD, if I can paint a more vivid image in your brain. But the match ended when Tyler Bate, I think, was taken out of the picture, and that would lead Damian Priest to hit the Razor's Edge, which would then lead Finn Balor to hit the coup de grace on Pete Dunne to get the 1-2-3. It might have been either Pete Dunne or Tyler Bate. My memory's a bit fuzzy. It's been about 8 hours or 7 or 8 hours since the show ended, and I barely took any notes because I just wanted to soak all of it up as a fun. But this was really, really special to watch. And then there was scheduled to be the Grayson Waller effect, and there were supposed to be two guests, the World Heavyweight Champion Seth frickin' Rollins and the winner of the 2023 and 2024 Royal Rumble match, the man scheduled to face Roman Reigns for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship at WrestleMania 40, Cody Rhodes. And this has left people on the fence. Some people absolutely did not see the need for the Grayson Waller effect to be on the show, and others are more intrigued by some of the things that happened. I'm leaning more towards the side of intrigue, but I also get why some people are disappointed and think that this match could have been in an email, or this segment, I should say, could have been in an email. I'm looking at you, Mr. Santi's app. Austin Theory actually introduced Grayson Waller, who had a great pop from the audience. This is his home country. I forgot to mention that Grayson Waller was the other Australian representation, aside Indy Hartwell and Rhea Ripley, much earlier in the video, so do forgive me for that. But once everything was settled, Seth had an announcement to make, and it was the fact that in a few days he would be cleared to wrestle again, which is amazing news. He will be 100% for WrestleMania. That MCL tear, it's been a bit of a trope with him in as much as it's a real thing, but I am really hoping that Seth is okay. And then Grayson Waller shifts his attention to Cody Rhodes, asking why he took away the match of The Rock versus Roman Reigns from the fans. A dream match which, quite frankly, we've been clamoring for years. A dream match that, in fact, should have happened at last year's WrestleMania if it was not for The Rock's busy schedule. Cody would then make a very interesting statement, one thing I think they will build up on in the coming weeks. The fact that he and Rock had a conversation, which of course we didn't know about because he said he took counsel from some people in the build-up to making his decision for his WrestleMania opponent, but he also mentioned there was a conversation after. And one has to wonder if this is the conversation that either solidified his decision to then come into the mix and take away what The Rock wanted to advocate for, which was that match with Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. Or if, in fact, if this is a cog in the wheel in the general machinery to take everything away from Roman Reigns. Cody would then reiterate that, in fact, he would be facing Roman Reigns in the main event of WrestleMania 40. But until then, his schedule is wide open, and so he would lay down an open challenge to The Rock. Any place, anytime The Rock wants to face him, he just has to make him know and he'll show up for a fight. So it looks like we are going to get some form of a tag team match at WrestleMania 40 Night 1, as a lot of people have been speculating, since The Rock can't, be in the main event as was going to be the plan before they pivoted entirely. Cody would then be reminded by Seth that, in fact, there's nothing like facing a member of the bloodline alone. And so when that time comes that he would have to face The Rock, Seth will be in his corner. And I really wonder how Seth is going to do this, because he will be defending his World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania. So one has to wonder how the logistics of all of that are going to play out. And then Grayson Waller was ready to wrap up the show when Austin Theory interjected, taking the mic away from him to have his shine to finish his story. He hit a few of The Rock's lines and then got attacked and laid out by both Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes. And Grayson Waller, who at first looked dejected when Austin Theory took the mic away from him, did not even attempt to help Austin Theory when he was being laid out by the World Heavyweight Champion and the Royal Rumble winner. So that leads me to believe that we are getting a face Austin Theory, because mind you, Grayson Waller has done this to Austin Theory before. He's actually taken the mic away from Austin as he was about to make a statement. And then now we have the situation where it's inverted, but now Grayson is not happy about it because he wanted to be the center of attention. The other thing that I'm thinking about, and it's something I don't know if there was any resolution to, is whether or not Grayson Waller fulfilled Roman Reigns' wishes. I know that he did want him to have the entire Australian crowd acknowledge him as the tribal chief and the ultimate boss of WWE. But at the same time, I don't know what Roman Reigns was alluding to on last night's SmackDown when he told Grayson Waller that he had something he wanted only him to hear, or that something for his ears only. I don't know what that was, and I don't know if this will be something to play in the bigger story, but we will see how it goes. Up next, we had the men's Elimination Chamber match, with the winner getting to face Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 40. And this match was going to be between Kevin Owens, Bobby Lashley, Randy Orton, Logan Paul, the United States Champion, Drew McIntyre, and LA Knight. Yeah. This match was not filled with the high spots of the Women's Elimination Chamber match, but it did definitely have more story going into this match. First off, from the perspective of Kevin Owens, he's going to be locked in there with Logan Paul, the man who has been tormenting him in the previous weeks and, in fact, cheated to win their United States Championship match at the Royal Rumble. You have Bobby Lashley, who hasn't had a world title opportunity in what feels like almost 2 years. You have Randy Orton, who is stepping into a match of this magnitude and this level of chaos and destruction with a bad back, and is also seeking to get closer to tying the record of John Cena and Ric Flair. He is only 2 world title reigns from doing so. You have the upstart Logan Paul, who is looking to walk out of WrestleMania as a double champion. Granted, he does not lose the United States Championship before then. You have LA Knight, who has had 2 World Championship opportunities in the last 5 or 6 months and is really looking for a way to get to the top by any means necessary. And then you have Drew McIntyre, who, mind you, has lost twice to Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship and is looking for a way to get back into the limelight and ultimately get that moment he never had in front of the audience, to not only win a world championship at WrestleMania in front of the crowd, but also to be the champion in front of the crowd. So there was so many stories going into this match. Also, I need to give a shout out to Kevin Owens, because Kevin Owens was practically a wild man in this entire match. There's one point, and I don't remember who was being banged against his Elimination Chamber pod, but he was aiding in hitting this person's face through the plexiglass, which I thought was really, really funny. I don't quite remember the order in which people were eliminated, but I will try to go through the spot as much as I can. So there was one spot where I think Bobby Lashley threw Randy Orton through the glass. I could be wrong, I'll correct it in post. And then Bobby Lashley and Logan Paul practically recreate the Goldberg and Chris Jericho spot from SummerSlam 2003, where Goldberg speared Chris Jericho through the pod, and he did the same to Logan Paul. And you can actually hear Bobby Lashley cussing out in pain at one point, and they actually had to shut off the audio at that point before he got back into the ring and got claymored by Drew McIntyre to eliminate him. And then they played this whole concussion angle with Bobby Lashley, and so referees had to get in there and Bobby Lashley had to be taken out. But as the chamber door was open, AJ Styles, who, for all the flat earth jokes that have been made against him, showed up in Australia without falling off the side of the earth, as a lot of you said, and proceeded to attack LA Knight with a steel chair, and this would lead him to be eliminated from the match by, I want to think, Drew McIntyre as well. Kevin Owens, I think, then got eliminated by an RKO from Randy Orton, who took a pretty bad bump on the outer mats of the Elimination Chamber and was selling a back injury so well, most of you would have thought that it was a real life thing. His face was getting red and everything. Props to Randy. But if in fact it was real, then boy, you're a trooper, Randy. And so we're down to 3 men: Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton, and Logan Paul. And I think there was a point where Logan Paul revealed that he had brass knucks in his tights the entire time, and he did a shot where he was about to go hit, I think, Drew McIntyre with them before Randy Orton, out of nowhere, and this is some of the best camera work you will see from WWE, came out of nowhere to hit the RKO and eliminate Logan Paul. And so we're down to 2 men, Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton. And for a time, I actually did think they would go with Randy Orton, which would kind of complicate the entire story going on with the bloodline, with Roman Reigns, with Seth Rollins, with Cody Rhodes, because, you know, the obvious ties between Cody Rhodes and Randy. But then WWE did something which I was not expecting. After Randy Orton hit an RKO on Drew McIntyre and was about to win the whole thing, I wondered why he didn't go for the cover. And I understood why very quickly, because Logan Paul came out of nowhere and hit Randy with the brass knucks, knocking him out and allowing Drew McIntyre to get the pin and thus win the entire match. So Drew will get an opportunity to finish his own story and challenge Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. And I don't think he's going to lose. I do think the worst thing that could happen is Damian Priest cashes in on Drew McIntyre and walks out of WrestleMania as World Heavyweight Champion. We had a Papa H sighting, Triple H coming out to announce the attendance record for Optus Stadium for the WWE Elimination Chamber pay-per-view event, or premium live event as it should be. I still get confused. It's been 2 years since we've been using that terminology. But he announced the record was 52,590, I believe. I saw it in glancing, because I was going to the kitchen because I just finished making breakfast. And then we had our main event for the Women's World Championship. It was Nia Jax challenging Australia's own Rhea Bloody Ripley. The atmosphere was amazing. Dare I say it, this is Nia Jax's best match in WWE in her near 10-year WWE career, and it's insane to think about. But I am very, very happy for Nia. She did exactly what she needed to do. She needed to be the dominant force, the dominant threat that Rhea Ripley had to run through. Rhea was playing practically the Hulk Hogan role. If you've seen Hulk Hogan matches from the 80s, say when Hulk Hogan would be wrestling an Andre the Giant, and he'd have to play that underdog, but you knew that he was going to Hulk up and get the win. And that's kind of what Rhea did over here. They have such good chemistry as well. Rhea, of course, hitting this chick kick-like maneuver before then hitting a riptide on Nia Jax. And listen, this was amazing. This was Rhea's moment. This was her premium live event. There was no way Rhea was going to lose. It couldn't have been the case. But now Rhea goes ahead to face Becky Lynch, who will challenge her for the Women's World title at WrestleMania. And the very interesting thing is these two have met, I think, once in NXT, and I think that match ended because of a DQ finish caused by Shayna Baszler. So this will be a very interesting thing to look at as we go along. I hope they get a proper build. I hope that both women have an amazing match at WrestleMania. But folks, that's going to be it. Thanks so much for watching this recap, I guess, of Elimination Chamber 2024. Let me know your comments down below. I am so glad to be back. I am back full-time, of course. I will be hitting you with future videos. And please do take care. Subscribe to the channel. Please like this video. I will see you in another one. Till then, take care. Peace.